Ooh, I do like this one. It's a grower for sure, but it's not all sunshines and rainbows, and I'll get into that in a second. Welcome to the video, everybody. Decided to do something a little bit different for this one, a bit more casual, not really edited. I'm just going to give you kind of my full sort of ranty opinion on this new song that Arctic Monkeys have just released. I ain't quite where I think I am, and boy, it is a grower. I've got to say that. But there's lots of difference between the studio version and the live version that we've been hearing on the Monkeys tour so far, and also the music video, which is the live version of the song. And we'll get into that in just a second. But if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe, because I'm going to be covering absolutely everything Arctic Monkeys in the lead up to the car, which is released this Friday and beyond. So stay tuned, get subscribed. On to the new single, I Ain't Quite Where I Think I Am. So I'm just going to refer to my notes here, because while I was listening to it last night, on repeat, basically, I made a few notes, and then this morning listened to it again for a few times, and it started to grow on me quite a lot. So the thing that kind of really caught me off guard with this song was how different the studio version sounds to the live version. I mean, the live version, if you watch the music video back, which is the live version, it essentially just sounds like a four-piece rock band trying to do something a bit different with funk. The strings are really hidden, and I think they're played on keyboards in the music video. The strings are hidden so much that it sounds like, I guess, what you'd expect Arctic Monkeys to sound like if they were to implement some sort of funky guitar riffs and take that song in that direction. Whereas the studio version was a complete shock to me, to be honest. It was super dreamy, and the fact that the kind of strings are so much at the forefront of the song just takes it to a completely different place. And the effects on the vocals, the vocal sort of harmonies that introduce the song, whatever they've done to those vocals, they've just made them sound so dreamy and melancholic and nostalgic, and it kind of paints this whole sort of movie soundtrack vibe for me, like vintage cinema kind of thing, which is really interesting. The other thing that I thought was really interesting as well is that if you listen to the song, there's kind of one main guitar in the right ear playing the funk riff, and that's sort of doubled up, overdubbed in the left ear. But in the chorus, especially in the first chorus, there is actually no guitar. And I was thinking about how the band probably put this together, and it sounds like to me anyway that this song was created by the four members of the Arctic Monkeys, not sat in a room with their instruments on their laps trying to figure out parts, but sat around a Pro Tools rig, acting as a producer almost, sort of deliberating on what instruments should be used where and when, and what should kind of flow in and flow out. And I think we've heard enough of Arctic Monkeys being a traditional four-piece rock band, right? We've had 4 or 5 albums of that. I'm really interested in this new direction, and I'm glad that the Monkeys are taking on more of a producer role and start to think about that side of things, and opening up the possibilities for new instruments like a string section, for example. Bongos are also featured on this song near the start. Like with Mirrorball, when they kind of seep in towards the end, they kind of fade in. It just gives it a great touch, and I think that they've done really well with the instrumentation on the recorded version. I'm actually a big fan. I'm a big fan of the studio version, although the feel, it must be said, is very different to the live version. And there's one thing for me that's majorly lacking in the studio version. For all its kind of positives, there is one thing that I wasn't too happy about, and that's the drums. And that brings me on to Matt's sort of playing style and what he's been doing on this album. So if you take the song Body Paint, for example, in the recorded version, when the guitars come in, those big guitars, and then it leads on to this climactic ending with a guitar solo, where the full band are kind of playing full pelt essentially. If you listen to the drums on the recorded version, they're just really tame. They kind of sound like Ringo Starr's drums, from like 70s Beatles records, which is obviously quite a cool aesthetic choice, but on this song, for me, on the recorded version, it results in a kind of lackluster climactic ending, and a lot of the power and sort of energy that you'd expect the drums to bring to a big ending like that just don't happen for me. And in addition to that, a lot of the fills that Matt's playing on Body Paint are just really lackluster as well. The thing is though, when you contrast that to the Jimmy Fallon performance that we've seen, he really goes for it. Arctic Monkeys have also done another performance on another German TV show, and Matt is really going for it, and the song just has way more energy. It's not like he's playing in a restrained way like he is on the studio version, and I'm not sure if that was a conscious decision. It probably was from the Monkeys, that the drums would be quite simple again as they were on Tranquility Base, but playing that restrained for me on a song like Body Paint just doesn't match what the song is trying to do. Aesthetically, the drums sound cool. They sound like Ringo Starr type drums, but I'm not sure why they're so tame on the recorded version, because the song just has so much more energy live. And that kind of brings me on to obviously this song again. If I listen to the live version again and what we've seen in the music video, the drums just slap. They just really slap, and it brings so much energy to the performance and makes you want to groove, makes you want to get up and dance. Whereas the drums on the studio version, for some reason, are just so tame. Like the snare just doesn't snap at all. Again, it's probably a stylistic choice in terms of a nice aesthetic that matches this sort of 70s drum sound, but it just needs to snap more. And I'm just not feeling Matt on this album. It's just far too restrained for me. So that's kind of the major letdown for me on this song. But yeah, that was kind of the only negative thing for me. Overall, really positive. Love the guitars, to be honest. The funk sort of quacky guitar in the right ear just makes me want to get up and dance. Love it. The strings bring so much drama and energy to the recorded version as well. Even the introduction of like bongos and things like that, I think they're used really subtly in both Mirrorball and I Ain't Quite Where I Think I Am, and just executed really well. That's one of my kind of main sort of like positives of the recordings of these songs. Like everything that's been added to the productions has just been so carefully, masterfully placed. Like I'm just really happy with the production of these songs overall. But the thing that I'm most excited about out of everything that we've heard so far is seeing the band live. The reason for that is that these studio versions, especially I Ain't Quite Where I Think I Am, is just so different to what the band are doing live. And that's really interesting to me. What I would hate is to have heard the full album and then to go see the band live and for the live performance to be a carbon copy of what we've heard on the record. For me, the whole point, the whole excitement of seeing a rock band is that when you go and see them live, it's a different experience. And that could be due to a number of reasons, right? Improv on stage, different arrangements, extended solos, the whole shebang. I'm so excited for how the Monkees are going to bring these studio versions to life when we go and see them live. Hopefully you've got tickets. So yeah, really excited for what they're going to do live, and I think in terms of the art of the possible, they might well have a string section with them on some of the bigger shows. They might well have some additional sort of touring members of the band as well. Can't wait for what's in store live. So I guess to sum up, I am a fan of the new song, I Ain't Quite Where I Think I Am. I do think it's a grower though. The first time I listened to it, I was kind of like, whoa, I'm not sure what's going on here. Listened to it a couple more times last night and this morning, and it is growing on me. And I feel like the whole album's going to be like that, to be honest. When Mirrorball came out, I had no idea what to expect of the song. And I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, to be honest. On first listen, I was just completely like taken aback and a bit bemused, quite frankly. But as the days went on and I listened to it a little bit more, I started to understand what was going on and started really liking the song. Same with Body Paint, to be honest. And I think the whole album's going to be like that. I think it's going to be a slow burn, and I'm all for it. So yeah, overall really positive, but I do have to pick out Matt's drums. I just think, I know he's trying to serve the song, and that's what he said in several interviews, and I guess he's trying to communicate this sort of mantra of being a more mature drummer, I guess, and serving the song versus trying to do the most impressive thing every time. But there's serving the song, and then there's being outright boring. And for me on I Ain't Quite Where I Think I Am, the drums are just so lackluster. For me, it just needs a bit more imagination, and I don't know if Matt was involved in the mixing or how the drums were going to sound, but they're just buried in the mix, and for me, it loses something. Like it feels like there could be something extra there that's not there in terms of the groove and how the song kind of hits. And so yeah, that's a bit of a letdown. That was one of the first things that when I heard it immediately, I was like, why are the drums so tame and why are they so quiet in the mix? But yeah, apart from that, really positive all round. I'm going to be doing a reaction video that's kind of a bit more like my usual sort of produced, edited videos on Friday for the new album. So watch out for that. That's coming very soon. So yeah, we're only 3 days away. Hope you're as excited as I am. Get subscribed, like the video if you like this fairly raw sort of off the cuff video, shall I say, reacting to the new song, I Ain't Quite Where I Think I Am. And make sure you let me know what you guys think, because I feel like this is the song that's divided fans the most out of the three that we've heard. I was at five-a-side footy last night, and a lot of my friends were kind of like not sure what to make of it at all. Yeah, so really interesting. Let me know what you guys think of the song down below, especially since it's been out for about a day now. Has it grown on you, or are you still a bit, let me know. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.